This is DG Vision Network.
International Women's Day is a global day for celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and the political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. Significant activities are witnessed globally as groups come together to celebrate women's achievements or rally for women's equality. Marked annually on March 8, International Women's Day, popularly referred to as IWD, is one of the most important days of the year to celebrate women's achievements, raise awareness about women's equality, and lobby for accelerated gender parity. In some cases, raise funds for female-focused charities. The International Women's Day website announced that this year's theme is Break the Bias. The organization is calling on people to imagine a gender-equal world that is free from biases, stereotypes, and discrimination against women. The UN's theme is Gender Equality Today for Sustainable Tomorrow. It is focusing on advancing gender equality in the context of the global climate crisis, continuing to examine the opportunities as well as the constraints to empower women and girls to have a voice and be equal players in decision-making related to climate change and sustainability is essential for sustainable development and greater gender equality, the UN said.
We need more women, environment ministers, business leaders, and presidents and prime ministers. They can push countries to address the climate crisis, develop green jobs, and build a more just and sustainable world. We cannot emerge from the pandemic with the clock spinning backwards on gender equality. We need to turn the clock forward on women's rights. The time is now.
Back home, it is noted that there is extreme bias and discrimination against women in Nigeria by federal legislators at the recent plenary session, during which they voted on 68 bills seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution. The legislators, which boasts of 95.5% men, voted against bills seeking to end gender discrimination in the Constitution, such as citizenship for foreign husbands of Nigerian women, statelessness of married Nigerian women, 35% affirmative action in party administration and leadership, 35% political appointment positions for women, diaspora voting, etc.
How do you explain that a Nigerian man can afford indigenship to his foreign wife, but a Nigerian woman can't do the same to her foreign husband? Meanwhile, we have a number of our men who have traveled to the Western countries and their wives afford them citizenship.
The action of the federal legislators speak volumes about the rollback Nigerian women are experiencing in promoting and protecting their rights in achieving gender equality and equity. Nigeria cannot make progress without its women and girls, a belief the wife of Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, shares.
To peacefully observe the proceedings of constitutional review about women, and also to listen to the proceedings also concerning the 35 affirmative action about women and special additional seats for women in the National Assembly.
This year's theme, Breaking the Bias, is a wake-up call and places responsibility on society and the world as a whole to call out various forms of gender bias, gender stereotypes, and inequality in society and work towards addressing them. Professionals support the motion that there is need to stop the bias and stereotypes at the corporate level.
Generally, corporate entities honestly need to look at the fact that they need to give women a chance. If you find that if you want to choose, if there's an opening and you want to choose between them, two people are contesting for that opening, a senior position, and one is a male person, the other is female. If the CEO of that corporate entity is a man, sometimes in African culture, he would tend to go with the male than the female. Outside the whole world, then more like the international community, that is not a big deal in terms of maternity, but it's a big deal that you're female. The male will get the job. So we basically just need a total overhauling, like you said, of our male gender mindset, because forget anything anybody else is saying. It is still a male world when it comes to the corporate system. Honestly, I think the corporate world needs to do male-oriented training,
Okay.
not just general everybody together. They need to train the men in the corporate world. They need to train the women separately sometimes too in the corporate world to be able to stand up. Those who have when you look at some women, you know these people have the ability, but they're a bit timid. So role training sometimes has to do with particular needs of each person. So I would suggest the corporate world has to really set up special training for both gender. So training is what you need to train people's perception, to change people's perception towards a better society.
Continuous effort has to be made to emphasize that women should exercise their right fully, use their voices freely, determine their life outcomes, and live their lives free from intimidation, harassment, and violence. It is believed that it is only when this is done, the world can be a better place without gender bias.
Women are just beginning to put their legs in there to try to change the mindset. And it's still going to keep work. It's a work in progress. That's why this International Women's Day is something that we need to celebrate in every corporate system, so that also to teach the male system that, look, we're not fighting with you for posts. We're not fighting with you for anything. It's not all those feminism kind of thing. No, it's just that we also want to be able to earn our own living, have a career, be a human being without being tagged for your ovaries, that because you are female, that's why you can't go far. So those are some of the things we just need to keep constantly reinforcing in a very positive, nice way to our male folks.
This is DG Vision Network.